Hello everybody, and welcome back to KF&JF podcast. Today is another good day for the podcast because we got another great host and guest on our show. So we really want to thank everybody out there for tuning into the show today, and also thank you guys for going to Joy Be Love and making those purchases that allow us to do what we do. And sometimes when we're on the move, you're on the move too. So I appreciate everybody coming to the show today, and our guest that we're going to have today will soon brighten up your day. Let me go ahead on and bring back our co-host and have him introduce himself again to all you new subscribers.
Hello, everybody. I'm Razak. I am the CEO and founder of United Minority Business Ventures. My purpose is to help small businesses grow. I assist with the creative process and maintenance of your business. The method to achieve results is simply building a deeper relationship with your customers. And we do this by forming opportunities to communicate and collaborate with your followers, subscribers, and other business owners. By using a wide range of networking tools, we have an understanding for building your marketing profile, social media marketing, finding out your marketing strategy, and building a financial profile for your business. We also like to assist with branding your product or merchandise. We may also determine what licenses is needed to operate your business, and if you plan on owning a domain or buying into pre-existing sites that host your page. And I like to drive traffic and manage your website. And this allows me to frequently select posts that create subscriptions, comments, and likes. We also assist by generating comments on other individual business sites or page that create dialogue of conversation directed towards your page. And I'd like to say, Sheryl, it's good to have you on the podcast today.
Thank you for having me.
Well, Cheryl, Razak does a lot of work out there putting businesses together and helping them get their websites and build their company profile so they can go ahead on and succeed out there. And we really appreciate all the work that he's been doing and working with various companies and to get them to the place that they want to be. And hopefully we can do the same for you at any time you need us. But let's go ahead and have you introduce yourself, Sheryl, and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, my name is Sheryl Penn. I've been an independent AVON rep for a little over 15 years. I did stop for a moment, but then I was helping someone to get orders, and she encouraged me to start back. So I actually did. But previous to that, life happened and it was just too much. I had to let it go. But then I've started back and kept doing it. I do AVON as a side hustle. I have a regular 9-to-5 that I will be retiring from this year after 35 years. And I'm a mother, a grandmother, and just love life. Also have to brag on myself a little bit because I have recently lost 100 pounds. So I'm working on me. And that's pretty much about it.
Well, you know what? When you talk about working on you, that's some work because I know that takes some commitment and that takes some drive and all those things, and especially in the weight loss area, everybody is struggling to lose weight in some fashion or another. But most of the time, it just boils down to commitment and being able to stay true to what you want and succeeding in that way. Whether you're trying to lose weight or in Razak's case, trying to gain weight. You gotta be muscle mania, and it all still drives on the same point of commitment. So I really do, want to, give my thanks to you and say I'm proud of you for that type of achievement. That is just so awesome to hear, and I'm sure and hope that it helps someone else out there too. So, as we move forward in our questions for today for you, and trying to uplift small businesses and talk about small business. So let's talk about it. Can you tell us a little bit about what's unique about you? What are some of the things about you that really not too many people know that's kind of unique about yourself?
One thing I do, I love Avon products, and that is one of the reasons why I can have continued to sell Avon products with the up and downs of the business. But I enjoy meeting people, um, helping my customers get products at great prices. Something unique about me that nobody knows.
Well, not right now.
Okay. Um, hmm.
We all friends, we family, we
I'm
sitting
an
back.
open book. So I'm an open book. So I don't mind sharing with people. I've already shared the fact that I am on my lifestyle change journey, getting healthier. Um, and I didn't do it with, not that I am downing people that have had surgery or takes medication, because each person has to do it their way and what works for them. But I did it by basically changing what I eat and exercising. So
Right.
I don't know. I'm an open book. So
Okay, well, we're going to find out some parts in that book, chapters in that book, some of the front pages, the middle pages, and the back pages of that book. This is what this podcast is about. And so I'd like to ask you, why did you think that Avon was something that you can do to help other people? What was it about Avon that you liked that drove you to it?
at the time when I started, I worked for the state, and when I guess it was in 2008, 2009, where we had furloughs, and we were closed and we were off. I think it was like every Friday or something like that. And I was like, well, you know what? I need to go find something else to supplement my income. And that's why I did it, to supplement my income, and then basically fell in love with the product.
Wow. Did you determine that the product that you were buying was something that you was going to be good at selling? Were you a salesperson before, or was all that new to you?
I'm still not a salesperson. I know I probably shouldn't say that, but I started, one thing, I like getting things at a bargain. And I was figuring out too, well, I can get this at cost for myself. And I knew other people who liked the product. And I was like, I may be able to make a little bit, to supplement my income. And that's how I started, in the attempt to supplement my income.
When you were out there selling your product and trying to understand Avon, what were some of the challenges like? Did you have, like, when I used to sell Amway, my mother used to say, a lot of people may say no, but some people will say yes. How did you work with that dynamic of sales and hearing the no?
Kept going, because out of every 10 no's, you might get one yes. So like most people that know that know Avon, they have particular items that they like, and they will reorder and reorder and reorder. Because I do tell people, well, you go to Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, and buy your shower gel. Why don't you try Avon?
Right.
And I can deliver it to you.
Well,
now, remember, Avon has been around for hundreds of years. Well, Amazon wasn't around where people got things delivered to them. But Avon reps back in the day would do door to door, and I still do deliver to customers. I have some elderly customers that I deliver to, show product to. I go to them, and that is one unique thing about Avon. Because a lot of people still are electronically challenged, just like me, that don't like going on the computer to purchase items. So,
Right.
You find yourself, like you said, you go to elderly people and you help by supporting. Do you keep a small stock of a variety of product, or is everything based on order and waiting and then having it shipped or delivered?
I probably have. There's all different types of methods with Avon. I probably have a large amount of stock. I have items that no one else can get. When I find things that are at a good price, I will stock up. Just this past week, I have uh, provided items for other Avon reps that products they couldn't get or that are currently out of stock, but I have them. Now,
Mhm.
one thing I don't, this may not be good, but I don't, when I'm selling to another rep, I don't sell it retail price. I do give the Avon rep the same price that I gave because I would want someone to do the same thing for me.
Okay.
And I give them
Well,
that
I can
professional courtesy.
well I can see that as right as being professional because um, I think one of the things that you want to do when you're, in the business and someone else in the business, you're working the same thing. You're trying to build that connection. So when you need something, if you have to get something,
Right.
then you have the ability to go to them and say, hey, you're overstocked in this area. I would love to purchase something from you. So in generally, where do you guys actually get the product? Do you guys get what they call wholesaled out a bunch of product for you to sell, or do you have to put a certain dollar amount out for the
Well, to
product in order for you
start,
to get batches of X, or do they just give you a certain amount?
I actually have to order what I want. There's our products come out of, I believe it's Ohio. Um, Now they're manufactured. A lot of the products are manufactured in other countries. Um, but our actual product comes out of Ohio, where we order from the main location. But we don't. You order as your customer needs it, and then you can also keep a stock if you like. And I do, like I said, I do have uh large stock on product on hand. And sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. Um because if I have product that I've had for numerous time, I need to get rid of it. So I have to mark it down. And of course I don't make as much profit on my end.
So is the product you buying from Avon, or are you getting from Avon? Is that the wholesale pricing, or do you guys have to
Yes.
negotiate prices or something like that for when you're
No.
buying?
No, it is a set price.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay.
Mhm.
One of my other questions is, as you've been selling the Avon and you've been reaching out to a lot of the people, do you find yourself working more with the elderly because of the fact that they can't go and get the product, or they really don't have the online, savviness to be able to order from that? So, do you spend your time in places where you can, be more direct involved with those particular individuals?
A little bit of both. A little bit of both. Um, I have people that order from me regularly, people that I check in with, say, hey, I'm getting ready to put in an order. I see this product that you like is on sale, or they're getting ready to discontinue this product and it's at a good price. So I deal with a variety, of people.
Mm-hmm.
Let me
Okay.
ask you another one of these questions, and I say this probably not to be disrespectful to any other people that are out there, but I know that there are certain places like, do you deal with certain businesses or funeral homes, other places that have needs for these supplies, because they do in-house type of makeup and stuff like that, and so I'm wondering if you ever had to work with anybody outside of the normal customer service base that you deal with.
I haven't as of yet, but I would love to. Um, yeah, funeral homes, they need makeup. I'm sure they have to clean the bodies, but I'm sure there's certain things that they use. But I would love to be able to work with other type of businesses to provide product at wholesale prices to them.
Right.
Yeah, I just was thinking
Right.
about that as a need. I didn't
Mhm.
know, but I always wondered about that. How does Avon and all these some of these other companies, how can they get to the other businesses that really use that stuff besides the regular customers they go out and sell their product to. So has it been anything that you ran across while you were selling your product that you felt was like, maybe not good for a particular person, and you've had to have that conversation where you know what, this is a product maybe bad for your skin, or this is something you might want to try, stay away from this part, even though you are an independent consultant for Avon, you also have to have a little bit of knowledge about skincare. Do you practice in that field? Have you learned a little bit about skincare, or talk a little bit how you work with your customers in that area?
Well, I do have um, customers that have certain allergies. Like I have a customer that can't use skincare with fragrance. So we do have fragrance free. But I don't give any type of, I would say, medical advice. I would definitely tell them to check with their doctor. I have customers who have told me, hey, with my allergies, this particular cologne works really good. Um, it doesn't cause my allergies to flare up. So with that particular customer, when that particular product um, goes on sale or has been out of stock and it comes available, I will reach out to those customers. But there's trainings that Avon provides. It's all online. We also have some in-person trainings. COVID, of course, have changed a lot for everyone. Um, we'll have some meetings, region meetings every now and then. There's also every year there is a convention. I have been to several. I think this year is in Maryland, I believe. Um, the last one that I went to was in San Antonio, Texas, where it goes for like maybe 4 or 5 days. They have a lot of different events, a lot of award ceremonies, so and training. But they don't give us the training to give any type of medical advice.
Okay, well that's always good to be safe in what you try to tell people so that you don't put yourself in any particular situation where you're giving advice that really you don't know much about. I'm gonna ask one more question and I'm gonna pass it over to Razak. I want to ask you about a defining moment in all the people that you've been dealing with in some of these places you're going to as a vendor. You have had any defining moments that something that kind of changed the way you're doing business, or something that just made it solidify the fact that, oh, I like Avon because you know what, I see that it does X for people.
Um, you know what? One of the defining moments, um, I want to say it was probably last year. And I was at Soul Swap Meet. It was when we were at the park. in North Park, over in North Park. And there was a lady that came through that she was elderly, she was on a walker, and she said, well, do you have any type of hand cream? And she showed me her hands. This lady's hands were so cracked and dry. And she said, okay, well, I had a sample of some hand cream and I let her use it, and she used it. She was like, oh my gosh, my hands feel great. It's even making my hands feel better. And there was another customer that was there, and she said, well, how much does this cost? And I don't even remember what the cost was. And there was a customer that was there and heard her. She said, well, I only have, like $2. And another customer that I had that was in my tent purchased the product for this lady. And the lady, she was just, the joy that she received assistance and help in this particular product helped her. So that's the thing, is with the products, and it actually does something for the actual customer. It does what it's supposed to do. So I've had many times like that where the products have really helped people, and they say, oh, this is great. I want to order 2 of those, the next time I order, or something like that. But I said it would have to be when the product does what it's supposed to do and makes that person's happy with whatever issue they were having.
Right.
I think that is the absolute greatest thing, when you can provide a service to someone, and the service is needed, and the service is, was to a point where it actually done exactly what it was supposed to do. I think that's an important part of, but you knowing that too, knowing to be able to, hey, you know what, try this. I think that is a defining moment. Razak, I'll pass it over to you.
Yes. Yeah. Very interesting. Very interesting. There's something that you had said when you had first started talking, and I want to ask you this: is okay? So, well, first, what could you share a particular moment that you considered a turning point in your life? And this is geared towards, you said that you recently, you went on, you lost 100 pounds. What was that moment in time that said that, hey, this, you're getting too heavy or whatnot, and you need to start losing weight, and then you was definitely focused in on doing that?
Well, first part of July 22. I have a longtime girlfriend that she's now in Alabama. And she called me and she sent me a picture of when I was smaller in a little black dress. And she said, Sheryl, we can get back here. At that time, I had no inkling of thinking about trying to lose weight or do anything about it. And at that moment, something just clicked in me that, hey, I can do it. And I will share, I did, and I'm still doing Weight Watchers. And that's how I did. She said, let's start Weight Watchers together. And we actually did. And I have made it to what they call lifetime. And what lifetime basically is once you reach your goal weight, in which I am at my goal weight, and I am not ashamed to tell my weight, I am 164 pounds. I have not worn, I probably weighed 164 pounds when I was 6 years old. Okay. So I have always been fluffy. But with lifetime, because you pay a monthly fee with Weight Watchers, but once you reach lifetime, you no longer pay. And that was my goal. As far as losing weight, getting healthy, all my numbers, my labs and stuff getting better, um, not having to go on diabetic medications or um, cholesterol medications. Uh,
Right.
so that was the defining moment. It's like when my girlfriend called me and encouragement. And that's one thing I do like about the Weight Watcher system. It gives you tons of encouragement.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for that. I know that was a challenge ahead of you right there. What? Okay. And so what? As you okay. So you were still working with Avon then, right? So yeah,
Yes.
I know you have to get out there and I guess I should say, you have to appear in public, and then the confidence level, the be able to talk to these people, to interact with these people. What type of mindset and in hindsight played a crucial role in your personal development about being uh, transparent about saying, hey, I'm out here in front of these people, and you have some other things going on in your mind that you had to set in motion.
I've always not been um not that I'm vain, but I've never had a confidence issue about my size.
Hmm.
Now, of course, I do have a lot more confidence, but I never had that issue because I've always been fluffy.
Right.
So it was not an issue as far as oh, I don't want to get out in front of these people because of my size. It never was that. Now I will say, with being a vendor, what I noticed in the last vendor event, lifting the boxes, moving the boxes, they are much easier now that I'm getting stronger.
Mhm.
So that's something I've noticed. But there was never an issue with getting in front of people. If anything, it was the shyness that I could be shy, and it's like, oh, do I want to say something, or do having that confidence and being able to say what I'm supposed to say and not look like a fool, like I am
Right.
on here with you guys.
Yeah, because a lot of times I be wondering how
You
does
ain't
that
looking like
happen
no
right there?
food on here with us.
Okay,
With,
good.
with yeah, with people that are not used to being in the public eye, so to speak. What I mean, and now you're just exposing yourself to a broad audience of customers and people who are suddenly flooding into your life as you go to these events. And how would you say that you balance your work life with your professional interests and passions?
Um, I do have to learn to say no. I have learned that. Um, Now that well, since I work a full-time job, I said, okay, well, I'll just do one pop-up um a month. Um, I have had to take some a step back from them because it does take a lot out of you. Because I've had some issues, some family issues that I've had to assist in with family members. But I've learned that as far as balance, rest when I can rest and learn to say no.
Hmm. What would you say would be one of the most challenging situations you have faced as far as starting your new life and losing weight and getting into the business? And you said you left and you started doing something else, and then you came back. What would you say your challenging situations that you had faced, and how did you navigate through it?
To just briefly go, I stopped when my mother passed away. because I was dealing with the business part of a family member leaving, and it was overwhelming. Dealing with a trust, and I was the trustee, fiduciary duties. It was overwhelming for me, and it was too much, along with the Avon business, working and being a mother. At the time, I have a son that's on autism spectrum, and he was in elementary school. And if you've ever dealt with schools, IEPs, dealing with it was a lot. I was dealing with a lot. And that's when I said, okay, I have to give up something because it was too much. And that's when like I said, I dibble dabbled in the Avon. I had uh, a lady that I was Miss Heels, no Keys, Miss Keys. And she's moved to Texas now, but she encouraged me because I was bringing her so many orders. So she was doing the work, and I would bring orders for her, and then she would give me my orders at a rep's price. And so I was still getting the products that I liked, and still being able to get customers that I had their product that they liked. And I guess I could say I did that so I would not, because I knew, I guess eventually I would go back to it, but I didn't think as soon as I was. But she was very encouraging, and encouraged me to start back my Avon business.
Right. Okay, okay. So with that, who would you say are the individuals you would say you would look up to as role models or mentors, and how have they influenced your values or your mindset?
Annie B. Campbell. She was we called her Granny. She was my daughter's godmother, and she was a pastor, but she was an entrepreneur. That woman could sell the sugar out of gingerbread. And I think she was the ultimate as far as the entrepreneurship that I never realized that I really wanted to be, because I've never wanted to be an entrepreneur, but it's like, I guess it's in my blood. I would say she encouraged me the most. I was never that person to say, oh, I want to work for myself. I don't want to work for anybody. But I guess I actually do, because I am so excited about being able to retire and do what I want to do, and not do what this governor requires me to do. So I would say it would be her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And she still affects you as far as your values and mindset today?
She does. She's no longer with us, but her boldness, and I guess how she bought product too, because she would buy product when it was at good prices to sell later. So I guess she influenced me more than I actually realized.
Now you mentioned you had a son who has you said autism, right?
Yeah, he is. Go ahead.
No, you.
He is on the spectrum,
Mm-hmm.
but I have never I did what I had to do to get him through grade school. He's never actually had the diagnosis as far as through the county or whatever, and getting and all that. And it could be good or bad, but I've always told him, because doctors told me he won't do this, he won't do this, he won't do that. One of the things, oh, he'll never play organized sports. He'll never be able to work a job. He'll never be able to drive. My baby played golf. He was a golfer. He was on the Morris High School's golf team. Works a full-time job. And he has his driver's license. So I've always told him, you have exceeded what the doctor said you could not do and would not do. So I've never, you know, pushed down his throat, you have autism. He is on the higher level. Most of his is social. And now he's just he's a gamer, ultimate gamer. But he's not running the streets. He's goes to work, comes home. So and when he was in grade school, he was a lot. He was a lot. He did find out that college was not for him. He was on Cuyamaca College. He made their golf team, but he decided college wasn't for him. And I told him, okay, well, you're gonna have to work. And he's working. Looking for another job now, because his job is getting ready to end. But so I'm proud of him. And then I have my daughter. I won't tell her age because she's in her 30s. And then my daughter and her husband, which is my son too, and 3 beautiful grandchildren.
Right. So okay, well that's a lot to that's a lot going. That's, you know, no, that was some pages you wasn't going to say unless we asked the right questions, right? See.
Okay.
So how do you do you have any specific daily habits or routines that you believe contribute to your productivity and well-being?
Yeah, stand in the Word of God. I'm a believer. I have made it through a lot with the help of God. As far as my daily routine, before I do anything, I do try to read my word, read my Bible, and then start my day. Don't always happen. I ain't perfect, but I do try that. Preparing what I'm going to eat and have for the day, and work out. At the end of the day, I try to get my workout in. So I don't know if that answered your question.
Well, would you say that you what are some items on your bucket list or your to-do list as goals that are you excited about accomplishing?
Resting. My bucket list is probably not major. I want to go to New York. I've never been to New York. I want to see Niagara Falls. I want to go on another cruise. I want to do what retired people do and being able to afford to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, being afforded it. That's the key right there. Being able to afford to do it. That's right.
Yes.
So is there, okay, so you have been,
you can always walk.
Where?
You have been giving us a lot of detail and insight to, you know, the person behind the other end on this screen right here, and you know, the doing your pop-ups and Avon and the other business and losing weight and stuff. Is there a particular life lesson that you learned that you would like to pass on to others going through so much adversity?
when somebody tells you you can't or you won't, try that much harder to do.
Hmm.
Bottom line.
Okay. You want to give us a little more meat, a little up in there?
Um,
Yeah.
when when life happens, you have to keep going. You can't stop. You cannot let the adversities of life, the downside, you cannot let it put you in a corner. It might put you in a corner, a little depression for a little bit, but you got to keep going. When people tell you no, you can't, I won't, you have to say, I will, and keep going because you don't have a choice. One of my, what my mom used to tell me is, you better get a hold of life or life will get a hold of you. And I don't want life to get a hold of me. So I got
Right.
to keep going.
Right. All right. Now that sounds like something right there. You know,
I think
there's
so,
also
for sure.
with that. What is your viewpoint on legacy?
Legacy is important because you need to give your children, your grandchildren, and your children's grandchildren something to help them along the way. It makes life so much easier now, not just giving it to them, but you need to let them know you have to work for what you want. It's not just going to come to you. Um, I've had to work for everything that I have because there was not a lot of funds and finances and how to deal with different finances and um, different things. Now, is there a legacy in Avon business? Could be, but at this time, none of my children or grandchildren seem to be interested in that business. Um,
Right.
but just to let them know that you don't have to sit and let people bring it to you. You got to go get it, whatever it is you want.
Okay. Okay. That's good. I like that. I like that.
I think you're absolutely right about that too. As you talk about the legacy and how you want, kids to be responsible. You don't want to give everything to them, but you do want to be able to make it so that they are able to succeed. So how do you do that in your legacy and put that together? It's pretty daunting sometimes because that requires you to sometimes sacrifice some of the things you want to
Sacrifice.
do for them. So when you were talking about traveling, yeah, your travels and the things that places you want to go and the things you want to do for you as a retiree, what I've found sometimes that's hard is that
Mm-hmm.
most of us as in the black community, we never make it to enjoy the retirement. Something always happened to us before, like you said, diabetes and all these other illness that we work so hard so long, we retire and we never get to fulfill any of those retirement dreams that we want to succeed in. And I'm just going to say a couple things that you were talking about when you were talking about Weight Watchers. I remember when that first came out, and you're talking about the food that you had to buy and get that to be able to stay on track to lose the weight because that's a consistency you have to do. And most people thought of that as normal sometimes when they were overweight and they had this since they were young. They didn't see it as anything they needed to change. And then also when you were talking about the IEPs, the individual educational program that are done through schools for kids with disabilities or or any type of issues that require them to have these types of things. It's a lot of work on the parent. The parent has to be able to go to the IEP meeting, come up with the plan with the teacher for the IEP meeting. I've done this, and I know that those things are take a lot out of a person too. So I want to be able to piggyback off for one of Razak's questions, is that how did all of those little things like that keep you grounded with taking care of your daughter? So some of those things are, you have to be so focused on one of the kids to get to X plan that sometimes the other kid doesn't get all of the attention. So were you able to balance just the raising of your kids that way with having to have all these extra responsibilities?
I probably could have did that part a little better. Um, they don't come with manuals. We don't come with manuals. Um, she was a lot older when he was born. Um, so I probably should have focused a little more on her. Um, I wish I had done that a little better. I'm gonna be honest with you. But she's turned out really pretty good.
That's kind of like what my mother would say to us when we talk to her all the time. She's 81, and I tell her, "Mom, she used to whip us like crazy. She used to whip us." And I said, "Mom, if the CPS would come out right now, they put you in jail." She said, "Oh no, y'all turned out all right. Y'all good kids." Like you practically whipped our butt to make sure we was good kids. So it's one of those things that the balancing of trying to parenting. There is no book. There is nothing to guide us. We have to take it, especially in our community. We learn from everything else. So let me ask you this as well: is there something you can say to our youth that's out there? A lot of people listen to the program and get ideas, and they have families and other kids. And I like to hear something from you regarding how you see the youth today, and what are some advice you would give them?
Oh, um, the youth today are a lot different than we were and than our children were. Um, technology, use it to their benefit. We had World Book Encyclopedia to look up stuff. Utilize Google, utilize, the technology that's out there, dig into it, find out what's out there and available for you. And always, when someone tells you no, and it's something that you really want to do and can do, try to pursue it with all your being. Um, the youth nowadays, there's so much more available to them. Tap into the availability. Um, and I always say a closed mouth don't get fed. You got to talk. If it's something you need, uh, you got to speak up. Closed mouth don't get fed.
That's
That's about it.
valuable.
I don't know how many times I heard that. I don't know how many times I heard a closed mouth don't get fed around here, man. My mother was good at that. What was the other one? I said, "Mom, I'm hungry. I'm hungry." She said, Go catch hungry. Just right around the corner."
I've heard that one.
That
Okay.
used to
Okay.
kill me. I used to be
Go
chasing.
catch
I
hungry.
used to be. I be chasing hungry my food all day long. She go catch him. See if he give you something to eat. Otherwise, get out of here, boy. So
Hmm.
it's one of those things. I like to ask you another question though, and it's regarding the podcast. This podcast has a lot of different people that we bring on. And everybody has their own outlook on business and what they think about what's going on in their future and things like that. Is it something that you can tell us about the podcast that we can do better, or that you think that we can that what we can do to bring more people to the podcast? How do you see what we're trying to do here on this KF&JF podcast.
I don't know. You know, one thing that I have recently started doing is I listen, probably this year is the first year I've even started listening to podcasts. There's a lot of information out there. Black San Diego, a lot of people go to the Facebook Black San Diego page. On there, I don't know if you guys are on there. I've just recently started getting back into social media. And a lot of people look and say, oh, I don't like that social media. I don't know if it's, I see a lot of positive, but I think there's so much information out there. One thing that I did see, and I don't know how different algorithms work, but if you share it, like it, that the next person shares it and like encourage people to share and like. I don't know if that's true, if that works. But to get it out there and let people know it's out there and that your podcast is available. Because I don't know if I've seen it on Black San Diego, not that I've been on there that much, but so there is so much on social media. Because that's where it's going.
Right.
Yeah, you're right about that. You know, one of the things that's kind of, unique about this podcast is the fact that we're doing something specific. We're trying to bring up the small business in the community so that we can showcase the people that are inside the family. You know, like for yourself, your kids are looking up to you, and there are other people that we meet that they see people like them. And so those types of interviews or those types of podcasts are not really driven toward that type of audience. They want the salacious, they want the star, they want the big person, they want all of but not the meat and potatoes about the person. That's why some of these questions, like we were talking in the beginning about opening up this book, is designed specifically so people get to know you, so they can buy the product from you. And then other people that come on the podcast hear you and see you, and they know that their struggle is not alone, that they also can move forward and some of the things that they can do and get up off the couch and lose that weight and stop sitting there. There's all kinds of other things in the conversation that the podcast is bringing. And I think that as we move forward, we'll probably try to magnify that better. Just like you're saying, the shares, the likes, the subscriptions, and all those things are important to us. But this is important, being able to showcase you being able to tell your story. Those are the things that I think KF&JF podcast wants to continue to do. So I do appreciate your thoughts in that area. I really do. Let me ask you another question. What do you predict or where you think you'll be in the next 5 years? What are some of the places you think your business format as well as your personal format will be in the next 5 years?
I haven't the faintest idea. And it's a shame. And I probably should have thought that far in advance. But one thing, financially, I am hoping to be debt free. I won't be debt free because there's bills that won't go away. Well, it could. Be more positive about being debt free. How about that?
Yeah.
Being comfortably retired. Only work because I want to, not because I have to. That's something that's really important to me.
Amen to that.
And still being able to get up and go and do.
Yeah,
And
that's a lot of good things.
Well, that's the important part of retirement, right? Is being able to see people see you out, not just at Denny's.
that part.
You
Or the
want to go
buffet.
out other places,
Uh,
start dancing, girl.
right. Right. Oh, I went to Janet Jackson and Nelly concert. I enjoyed it. That was good. But
See, there you go. There you go.
the
Now you're
other,
on the move.
yeah, I really enjoyed it. I hadn't been to a concert in years, so that was good. Um, I lost my train of thought. Oh, the other thing is that I guess it's a goal, or is during the pandemic, I had joined Toastmasters International. And that I do want, once I retire, want to get back into Toastmasters to help my communication, to help me to be able to talk um, uh, in front of people better and communicate better. So that's something I do want to do. And I don't know if it's something that uh, you gentlemen ever thought about doing, but it's a good um, education tool.
Yeah, I took a Toastmasters.
I did
Mhm.
Toastmasters.
Yeah, I
Your
did it.
sister's on Toastmasters. Yeah, Toastmasters
Still
is
didn't
good.
stop me from saying, after you get done years later, it didn't still doesn't stop me saying and
Uh,
I'll still do
yeah,
that.
yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it probably depends on if you're reading.
I
A lot
love
of those are like
Toastmaster. I
speeches
had to
and
do a
stuff. So.
speech, man, but COVID hit, and then they canceled the class.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, when I started, we were doing
My
just
God.
Zoom. And I absolutely love Zoom. I love this. I love this
Oh, really?
process.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, when I did it, we were doing Zoom. Main or headline products for Avon that most people know is Skin So Soft.
Skin So Soft?
Skin So Soft. And the actual like Bug Guard. People use Skin So Soft for so many different things. The actual, and we have brochures that come out every 2 weeks. And this particular brochure we're on now is the one that is featuring the Bug Guard. And against mosquitoes and the regular summer bugs that get us.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so what is your favorite product in the out of the Avon selection?
I would say it would have to be some of the colognes.
Cologne, so that's fragrances.
Fragrance, yes. Now I will say all of Avon's men's colognes are amazing. One of my favorites is Bali, and it is not on the screen right now. Now, Avon's men's cologne, they're all good. The women, it just depends on what you're actually looking for.
Right.
And the Live Out Loud, that one that's there with the black writing on it, that's a good one. Haiku is one that's popular. The ones with the three that are at the bottom of the screen, those were classics that were actually discontinued at one point. But everyone put up such a fight, so they came back with them in the classic bottles, where they're all the same, but it's still the same perfume. There is a ton of products that we have. The skincare is amazing. There's a lot of the deodorant. A lot of people like the deodorant. There's tons of products, thousands of products that are available. Okay, I would say one of the like I said, what most people know Avon for is Skin So Soft. And if you click on the shop button, yes, and there's a drop down, and you go to Bath and Body. And the Bath and Body, I will say is probably one of my favorites. Now, that third product over is the shower gel of the Skin So Soft original. There are several scents of the Skin So Soft, and that's a common one. The shower gel. There's also, and that's the bonus size. It also comes in a smaller size. But if you go back to the shop button and scroll down a little bit, you'll see the bath oil that most people know Avon for. If they don't know Avon for, and that's on that line there, go back up. The last product on the end, that green bottle, that's what most people know Avon for. The average consumer that doesn't really shop the product a lot. If they don't know nothing else, they know that product.
Now let me ask you: does these products, is it melon friendly? Like, are they, is it culture based, or is it just kind of generalized for everybody or anybody?
It's generalized for anybody and everybody. There are a few products that are some of the makeup, because we also have makeup. And I would say it's not really culture based anymore. It used to be at one point, but we are now owned by LG. LG is a Korean company. So we have a lot of Korean makeup. Which in Korea, makeup is huge.
Can you give us a definition of the difference between the makeups?
Like what? That first product.
Go ahead.
You would have to, if you click back on the shop button, it does give you different categories. And go click on makeup. Okay, if you click on where that makeup, the drop down, the little arrow next to the word makeup.
Bestsellers.
Yes. Okay, so it gives you for brows, for eyes, for lips, for your face. It gives you the different categories.
Okay. So let's go to we're already on bestsellers.
And Glimmer Sticks is a very popular item. Because they go on so smooth. I get a lot of requests for those. And they come in various different colors. So there is a lot of product. There's actually a try-on tool where you can come on camera if you're on the website and actually try on the product. I don't know how that would work. That would be good.
Yeah, where would that be in, huh? Well, I guess we don't want to see that.
You would have to click on the particular item, and you have to be willing to go on camera and try. How about eyebrows? So let's see. Let's go back up. Scroll down a little bit.
The eyebrows.
Brow definer, that first product there. Click on the on that line there. And see where it says try on.
Oh,
you
right
would
here.
Click on that try on right below.
Something really trying on the tool. Okay, well, I'm not gonna push it, but you know, I could.
Come on now, just for fun. Just for fun, you could do it.
Okay, we see where that's going. We know how to do that.
Come on.
Okay,
Hey, I see your manhood. I see your manhood in there. You got it.
Brown shade died. Okay, yeah. Okay, now we get us through this. I mean, we can kind of read it, but all right, this is all right, bro. This is what people. So when people are okay, so do they have a I guess this would be it. I guess it's a skin tone chart to say what is best matched with your skin or matched with your the problems that you may have. Like if somebody has acne, is there makeup or is there a section in here where it says
in the skincare? There should be, if you go to click on the shop button and go to skincare.
Oh, here it says, okay, it says concerns, blemishes, dark spots, pigmentation.
And you would click on the products and see if it has in it or if it does what you want it to do for you. Each product has a description.
Have you used any of these?
Yes. I used a lot of the new products. I don't use a whole lot of them, but I do use the new, the vitamin C.
A new platinum night cream?
Yes, that is a popular one. And these creams are not gender specific. These can be used for men and women. There's a whole array of products available. And you could click on, there's also a shop and learn. So, and it just depends. I'm not sure what they have on that tab now. Okay, so that's, you can go back. There's nothing, there are live events. This is, I'm sure, a recorded one that was done this past week. And on these lives, if you shop and purchase a certain amount, you get the actual products. You get some free products along with it. That's what the ticker is on the side of there. And those are older ones that down at the bottom. If you also could go back and click on the top where it says special offers, there's all kind of different special offers available. You could be on this website all day if you choose.
Yeah,
there's a lot of different features. It's a lot of different features. Now, if someone want, and also you're on you must click on special offers. So you could, there's the tab, there you go. So up to 70% off. That is usually items that are being discontinued or they have a large stock of it, trying to get rid of, reduce the inventory on the stock. There's also a digital brochure. Every 2 weeks, there's a new brochure that comes out.
Every 2 weeks. That's coming up with a lot of creativity in making products if it's every 2 weeks.
Yeah. So if you click the arrow, it'll go to each page. I am able to share it. And once I do actually retire, I plan on doing a little more marketing to me and texting the brochures to my customers. There's a lot of things that I like to do.
digital brochure.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Become a rep. This is when people are interested.
Say it again.
No, the become a rep.
Oh, right. And I do not have a downline right now. But that's something I do want to build. I'm interested in building.
All right. Any other areas? Sweepstakes. Let's check out this sweepstakes. Oh, this is just a
An entry.
summer splash. All right, so let's go to jewelry. We haven't did this one. We're gonna cover about one more, and we'll go inside the interview.
Okay.
So
So I take it you're not familiar with Avon.
no, I don't. No,
Okay.
Avon, no.
Okay.
No, a lot of these websites that have these things, they're more advertised as being female, companies. So I wouldn't even. I don't know anybody that would, I mean, as far as being a man, I mean, or maybe if he was trying to shop a present for your wife or your girlfriend or your kids or sister or something like that, you know what I mean? I wouldn't think to go on Avon. You know what I mean? It would have to be
And
something that was told to me or suggested.
there are products on here for men. There's also products have been changed in and out, discontinued, a lot of changes since we have been taken over by LG. But if you click on the shop button, there should be a home. If you click on there's at the bottom, there's a home and a men's. So there are products for the home. Men is going to be mainly the cologne and should be some jewelry on there.
Well, country hair and body wash. Black suede.
There you go. I know you heard of that one.
Let me see. A lot. Okay, so a lot of these things are not, and a lot when you come to these sites like this, they don't advertise, like these other brands. These are their own brand. You guys have your own brand of colognes and soaps and stuff, because I don't see anything else that sounds like I've seen on the shelf. You know what I mean? Like or
Belief is a product that is sold in like Sephora and Ulta. Some of the products are sold in the stores.
Mm-hmm.
See, there is jewelry. There's some apparel.
Not the Avon shirt.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Black suede roll on. All right, let's
Thank you for familiarizing yourself with Avon.
Yeah.
That we did not talk about, and hopefully, you could pick up on some of the things that we wasn't able to get to in this conversation that you would like to say.
I guess more of what you guys do as far as your business, because how do you make your money? And I don't know if that's part of the podcast or that's something that's discussed later, or you guys are just doing it. Or
just to be helping
Because
out.
you love the community.
Well, we told you this was a unique. Well, see, you hit all the favorite points, but I'm going to let Razak answer this because I think he has a better explanation as to what the importance are, as to what we're doing and why we're doing it,
Mhm.
and I think he can articulate that pretty good. Why don't you go for it, Razak?
Well, as far as what we do is outside of the podcast, as I explained in my introduction, I generally just help out with, getting my business is other people's business. So outside of doing the podcast, and I would help, your marketing, trying to get your web page together, trying to, formulate what it is that you're having in your brain, and then put it into the social media site. You know what I mean? Try to advertise it, try to market it, try to promote it with licenses that you need it. You know, Keith has the apparel. Joy Be Love is actually a clothing and apparel. We have all these other different avenues that we get revenue from. But at the same time, the podcast was generally um, created in the sense to communicate with other business owners and to give them a platform for exposure and to allow them to be celebrated in a sense. And as far as being a minority community, a Black community, it's all about uh, giving back in a sense. So when we meet people and you say, hey, I'm at the vending show too. I'm at the pop ups, what I mean, and I'm gonna go over here and I'll meet these persons. So this person was at the last one. This person was at the last one. You might have had some words, but do you guys know each other? Do you guys, because we have our own little background stories about struggling and doing everything and how we got to this moment in time, and why we're so generous with our time and our efforts to get other people into a platform to where they're the stars of the show. But aside from that, it's more about just giving exposure and a way to give back, to and with as far as finances is a fine, why we're not getting paid at this present time, really the most uh, uh, basic answer, the realest honest answer I give you is this: we were just starting. We just started doing this. YouTube and Instagram and all these different other areas that you can gain income from through followers and subscribers and stuff like that. That's why we always ask you to subscribe. That's why we always ask for your views. We always ask you to bring, not only just have you on here, but go grab somebody else that that's with a business or an athlete or a singer or whatever they might be doing. They could be working for somebody else, but it's just the story of how they got to where they are. Come put it on our show. That gains us more viewers, that gains us more subscribers, that gets us more followers, and we can get paid through that way. I mean, it doesn't really take too much to push subscribe, even if you're not looking at YouTube all the time. I'm not always on YouTube. I'm not always on Instagram and all these things, but I could push this thing and it doesn't cost you nothing. And that could be payment in a sense. That's why people have so many followers, so many, views and subscriptions, and they might not even be even looking at it all the time. So we get paid through that way, but in a more basic right now relevant sense that I mean we'll get paid in a few another month or so or something, that when we get a little bit bigger, I mean we may just extend sponsorship, like your products right here, your Avon. We can bring you on. We can do commercials. We can do all different other elements to the podcast that we have in the works. What I mean, and that brings revenue through the podcast. Go onto the site, Joy Be Love, and and buy something. It could be $5, it could be $3. I haven't went on there myself. I went on there a couple of times, myself, but not in the recent things. So I don't, that might be something we need to do too, is broadcast what new products that you have, and then what I mean, grab something, and that helps the podcast. What I mean, we have different other ways to make a source of income.
And you said that your website is joybelove.com.
Well, I think, yeah. I couldn't hear.
Yeah,
I think it's a little delay.
the
I
KF,
can hear. Say it
KF
again.
and JF podcast is also related with the joybelove.com. It all the way that the things that are bought and sold on the joybelove.com website, it's an apparel. There's different. There's other different. There's more than just clothing on there. But you go in there and you buy things off of there, and that funds the podcast, because the podcast in the real sense is just, another web domain site that you have to pay into, 10 20 something dollars a month, or you can just get a year's, all these type of things. So in the sense of accessibility, it's real easy for anybody to just do certain things as far as what we use to do the podcast. But it's just the general idea of actually having somebody who wants to go and meet other people, who wants to put you in the spotlight, and we'll just be the ones who are sort of like, finding the talent type of stuff. So we're finding you guys, we're bringing you on, and we're showcasing what nobody knows about you. As you walk down the street, like you were saying, you have all these Walmart or somebody, CVS, Burger King, all these different places that you see all the time. Those are people who are well off. They're doing well. If somebody's buying into a franchise, they're doing good. But do we know the story behind them? And then once you know the story behind them, that's kind of it. It kind of like ends right there. But who are the people who are funding, or I should say, who are the products that they have in these stores? Who are those people? And what kind of background story do they have? So that's what we want. That's what we're reaching into, not the big person, the big name brand who's actually warehousing these things, but who are the people that are on the shelves, and who are the people who are still trying to get on the shelves, or get into the retail, and or whatever services that they may have. And that's what we're trying to. And this is going inside the black and brown community, minorities, we want to always, I always say the ground level, we always keep in mind, never to have any whatever level status that we get to in subscriptions or followers and stuff. We're always looking for the mom and pop shop type of people, and to give them make sure they're celebrated, and they're the stars. They're doing something in the community that are being overlooked, and it's not going heard or seen. And then that's what we do on the cast. We give you that, that broadcasting in a sense.
Okay. So you know what? I think now podcasts, I'm sure, have been around for eons, but it's something that's new. To me, it's new. It's definitely new to me. But there's a lot of information. But I was like, well, it seemed like when I tried to find you guys at first, because I listened to podcasts through Spotify, I couldn't find it. But when I opened up Spotify just now, you were the top one up there.
Okay.
You were the first one. So that I'm sure that's some type of algorithm that,
Yeah, and that's another thing too, because a lot of the podcasts that you have in pre-existing right now, they're always looking for, the superstar billionaire guy, and I'm pretty sure, having this athlete or musician or star in there does something as far as the views and subscriptions, but with that, you have a person who has been on 30, 40 other podcasts, been in the magazines, they've been on TV shows, they got award shows. Okay, okay, that's good. That's great that you have got that level of success. But let's not forget about the other thousands and millions of other people in the world who have also accomplished something. And why are they not celebrated? Just like when they say about these seasonal holidays and stuff like that, or your birthday or something. Like, it's like, oh, on your birthday, on Christmas or something, then we bring gifts. Now Thanksgiving, now we sit down at the table, now we call everybody. Why does it have to be that holiday? Why does it have to be that birthday? Why isn't any other day out the entire year, a day that you can also do that? You know what I mean? So Like my grandma, when she had passed away, she used to always gather us together. She was like the person that was like, hey, it didn't have to be nobody's birthday, didn't have to be no holiday. It was just a feeling of gathering. I'm like, hey, what you doing? Let's sit around the table. Let's go out. What I mean? So in that sense, what I mean, the podcast in kind of a real time way is saying like, hey, let's gather together, and let's talk about each other's accomplishments. Let's celebrate. Let's get the pats on the back. Let's get the information, the education, the drive, the motive, the encouragement that we need to keep going. And you have already said that you was dealing with a lot, having a son and a daughter. You wanted to do. You had your mother pass. That's dealing with a lot. And a lot of people are not going to know that about you, and or know that about the person who's pushing these products unless you come on a podcast, because I don't know of any other place that's actually looking at the small businesses, the small minority businesses, or we can say a lot of the Black-owned businesses is being publicized in some of the media and urban avenues that they have. But is it really just a small business, or is it somebody who's connected to a superstar or connected to an athlete, connected, what I mean, or is it really just some random person? We have random people, what I mean. It's not somebody who has to be connected to a superstar, what I mean, or reference through somebody who's a cousin of a superstar or something like that, what I mean. So that is a lot of difference, and we like to deal with people in their own environment. We don't grab the studio. We don't put on big chains and have all this fancy designer gear, just to hear from you about how you got into your business, why you got into your business, what I mean, and how do you feel about doing your business, that you would your answers change if I had a big old chain on, if who was if this was a big old fancy studio with what we was in, would your answers change?
I probably wouldn't even have been on here.
No, so you probably when he showed up, huh? Well, see,
yeah, I probably would not. Keith, right? If Keith would have approached me and he had the chain and the yo mama attitude, I probably would have like, okay, okay, I'm good. No, you do you, and yeah, I probably would not have been on here. To be honest with you.
Let me tell you a couple of reasons why the podcast exists is because of the fact that we're it's a delay, and I know it's a delay because you're not hearing me when I first talk, but I'm just going to just say this: the podcast was started simply to help other people, was to bring other people that's in the community to the forefront. We don't have no way of, if any of these pop-up tents or any of these vendor events people go to, the news can come out there and showcase you for 15 minutes. But we've been on this podcast for over an hour. We've learned different things about each other, and you're not going to get that from a lot of the podcasts. So that is the basis for where and how this podcast exists. And together with Razak, one of the things that, like he's mentioned, is the ground up, right? We want that ground view. We want to see the bomb and pop. That's why when you see JT, him and his wife, they're making that tea. They didn't have no idea about this podcast until they came on and did that. And one of the things was to make people comfortable, to make people feel as if that, what, we can have a casual conversation about our family, about our people, about our triumphs and everything. Those things are important to share with our communities. And then when you look back on this, or your kids look back on it and see you, when you sitting around retired and everything, you can replay this. It's gonna be there, and they're gonna see that mom was out there. She talked about her feelings, and she let us know things that we didn't even know. And that's another way to make an impact on our family and our community. And there are no podcasts out there or maybe they are, I haven't seen, that are specifically designed to help the small business, Black and minority entrepreneur around their community, in their neighborhood. Like we went over, I went right over there to where I met you at was Kate's Pop-Up, right? That's just right there at the VFW. But everybody there, I practically interviewed and put on the show. So it's because not everybody knows about that place, but we go there to support each other. That's the reason why we
Mhm.
go. We go and pay that money, even though we may not get a lot of vendors, but we're supporting the whole Black community and the people that are there. And so the podcast needs to be looked at in a way that, is open to sharing the struggles and journeys of our people. And as we grow and as things progress, yes, somewhere there'll be a financial obligation, or maybe we'll ask for something. But right now, we're not asking but nothing but you to pass it along. Just keep passing the baton of subscription, of views, of sharing, because all of those things are going to bring more people to the show, and it'll grow, it'll get better, we'll get better, situation will get better, and everybody that was in this will be part of the team. That's how I see it.
Okay, my name is Sheryl Penn. I am an independent Avon representative. You can reach me via email, messenger, Facebook. Um, my actual name, Sheryl with an S, SHERYLPENN, and that's at Gmail altogether at gmail.com. I also have my e-store with my Avon for Avon. And if anybody would like to become an Avon representative and make some little side cash, uh, reach out to me. And my Avon website is youravon.com. That's YOURAV is in Victor, ON is in Nancy.com / my name, Sheryl Penn. That's SHERYLPENN, and that's E is in Earl, and double N is in Nancy. Okay, that's me.
Mhm.